Are your headset still there, you know?
No, I forgot about that.
Did a fucking recording last week and you fucking left your headset. So I'm going to have to stop to fund my fucking gambling habits. Okay, well, jump straight in. You know what? There's nothing that can be worse than last week. So I don't think, no matter what we record this week, it's not going to be as bad as me talking to myself last week. Right. I honestly don't know how people, you know, when you see, what do you call it, like these fan cams and streamers and they watch games and they just kind of talk to themselves.
Yeah.
How the fuck do they do that? The fucking mentalists. Like, honest to God, I was doing it last week and it was the weirdest thing in the fucking world. Like, she just like kept going past the corridor looking at me like, what are you doing? I was just like, bup, 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 talking to herself. It's a fucking hard graph, that.
It's one of them, it depends on how it is. I mean, it's say like my missus was in the house. I don't know, I just feel a bit weird about it. Like, I don't know, it's a bit odd. So
yeah, it was so no matter what we do tonight, it would definitely be better than that because it was so weird, mate. Everything just felt like robotic. It was just so fucking weird, just going like, yeah, I think we're gonna do this, and it's just like you're just waiting for someone to say so. You're just like, yeah, this is fucking odd. But hopefully I'll never have to do. I don't think I will do one of them again. Actually, I don't think I've got it in me. I don't have a clue how to do it. You know what I mean? I was like, oh my God. I was just like, fuck me. But then I'm supposed to have fucking Carl's debut tonight. He's bottled it to do some work, to do some fucking helping out. Oh yeah, you had a good week or what? What's the crack?
It's just working, mate. Work's been pretty intense this week. Obviously, Cheltenham's been going off, so that's been interesting from one side. Interesting for me to say that I've pretty much broke even. Like,
yeah,
I've not won, I've not lost. So
yeah, same, exact same.
Yeah, no, it's been pretty interesting. Like just solid with work really at the moment, but you know, it's what it is. Yeah, it's my weekend, so
yeah. Oh yeah, same here. Really, same. Days go by. You're still counting them days down to Disney World. Fucking 2 months to go, and then this podcast gets put in a bin for fucking 2.5 weeks. It's just going to be me recording live from Disney World.
I don't know about that. I don't think that will fly. But I did. What do you call it? I realised that it's only like 6 weeks till I go to Marbella anyway. So I mean,
yeah.
Alright, so
there we go then. We'll just have to fucking put the whole thing on pause. Okay, now that's like polar opposites. I'm going for a nice little fucking holiday to Disney World. You're going for Marbella for a piss up. Jesus Christ. But yeah, I'm the same. I just broke even at Cheltenham. Bang on the same.
I must admit, so with Cheltenham, to be honest, in the past, I've always theoretically, so it's always started on a Tuesday. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I've always been my days to bet because I've always felt, I don't know why, I've just always felt more confident with betting on those days because I've always felt I could come up winners. Because I don't think I've ever come up with winners on Friday and Saturday.
Yeah.
I don't think I have.
I just winners full stop. I did this time, but I always use tipsters, which is backfired on us because we were supposed to have Carl as a bit of a tipster at the end of every show now, but yeah, he's not turned up. So we've got no. I've done a little tip, but it's coming from me who's not won a bet in about 5,000 years. So if you wanted to, I wouldn't. But I had a few that were close as they come, a few tipsters, and it was one of them where, looking back, it looks like it was super close. Like one horse lost, but it was like the second horse up. So it doesn't matter anyway. Do you know what I mean? It was always going to lose because it's the second horse, and you wouldn't have cashed out at that point anyway. But looking back, it looks like you were like one horse away from like fucking 400 quid. Do you know what I mean? But last horse, I had £2 left in my account. I'm a bet responsibly kind of person. I don't bet big ever. And well, no, I'd say that as if I'm being responsible. It's just going to fucking tight gun. You don't want to spend the money. But yeah, I put £2 on what I had left in my account, and it came back 15 quid. And at the start of the week, I put a tenner in my account to gamble all weekend. So I was technically £5 up, but it was the second to last race because then on the last race I put a £5 on that random horse that was like 5-1, and that didn't come in. So yeah, bang on even, tenner in, tenner out.
So I think I whacked 60-70 quid in the account for Cheltenham, just based on the 3 days, not based on like today and tomorrow. But I think it was 60, 70 quid I put in, and I went up originally. I went quite up with like my each ways, so I was having each ways and winners on each race, and I did all right. Like I came up quite well, but today I just lost dramatically, so I'm probably about broke even, to be honest. But to be honest, that's one of them like where I got winners. I'd used the winnings to put the other bets on anyway, so it was sweet. So
yeah. I had a bit of that, yeah. A few times I had that. Like I'm saying, I only put £10 in, but because they have so many offers to try and get you gambling, I downloaded the apps of about fucking 50 betting apps, and I must have put about 50 bets on free bets. But there's something about when you get a free bet, you just want that big win. You want to fucking beat the fucking bookies, because the second the festival's over, you uninstall the app, so it's like none the wiser.
Oh, yeah.
But I must have put about 50 bets on throughout the week, and about a few of them came in, but you instantly bet it again because it's a free bet. You're just like, oh fuck, it's free money, and you bet it, and then the next one loses. So it's one of those. I see it as fun. I know a lot of people, and I'm seeing it on Twitter, and I know from personal fucking knowing people that I know a lot who've got bad habits where they betted far too much.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And the only thing what I'd say about them kind of people is they only tell you when they've won. Do you know what I mean? I know a few people where they WhatsApp group like, oh, I've won this, I've won that. It's like you never see them put when they're fucking 10 grand down. They never say when they're fucking in a hole and the bookies and X amount. So it's one of them things. I think everyone just bet responsibly. Don't let the bookies win. Hold on to your money.
It's like, you know what it's like? It's like when a fan cam or someone like predicts a transfer, and they take 100 stabs at a transfer rumour, and they get one right, but they'll brag about that one that they got right. Bear in mind, he got 99 wrong. They'll brag about that one that they got right. You're like, you fucking idiot. You don't know. You're just talking shit. You vote for the best. You took a stab in the dark, and one of them's actually come off. That you guess. So it's stupid. But then people are like, oh yeah, no way, yeah, I can't believe you knew. How did you know that? Did you get inside information?
Yeah, the worst. I know exactly what kind of account you're talking about. You see them all over Twitter, and they'll like retweet it with a little tick next to it. It's like, why are you ticking that as if you fucking think you threw enough shit at the wall and one of them stuck? Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. They are fucking annoying.
About that though, Twitter will go on. Yeah, we'll verify that account. Yeah. That. You fucking what?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I don't follow any of them accounts. I think, and the thing is, he's from the Sun, so fucking obviously everyone hates the Sun. Fuck the Sun. Yeah. But for the EFL, Alan Nixon, he's fucking normally spot on, like a lot of the time, especially whilst Wigan were in administration. He gets a lot right, but he does work for a newspaper, so he's actually a journal. He's for a fucking terrible newspaper, but he gets a lot of shit right.
Do you know what though? There's like, you've got to remember, the guy's a journalist, so I know. I mean, obviously, I'm not taking sides whether he's like a good journalist, bad journalist, or who he represents or who doesn't represent. It's none of my business. But one thing I would say is that he's a journalist, and that's what he does. A fan cam is just a turnip that doesn't know what they're on about, and just throws random guesses in the dark. Sometimes gets them right, sometimes gets them wrong.
Well, I've learned this week as well, like through doing this podcast, that when you see fan cams or people on Twitter who look like they know what they're saying, just because they have X amount of followers means fuck all. Because last week, our first episode, I put it out to about 5 followers, like none. So this week, one of my big things in my spare time, just flicking through, has just been fucking follow, because that's the only way you can get people to follow back, kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? Especially when you're first starting, no one's going to know who you are. It's not as if we're on the fucking TV or anything. So I've like follow, and you get a lot of people back. So what I imagine is, if in a week I've gathered 500 followers for us, which I think is pretty decent. If you imagine people doing that for a few years, and I've done that in 1 week, no wonder they've got like 10,000 followers. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And you have things like Follow Back Friday, and I'll tell you a little story as well, because I followed so many people in the last week. And then yesterday, I think it might have even been this morning, I started unfollowing them. I started unfollowing them because I thought, right, no, what a balance of books. Anyone who's not followed us back, they can get fucked. I just want the people who follow us back, so I started unfollowing them. And then I just get this report message off Twitter saying, you have been too busy on Twitter. You followed too many and unfollowed too many people. You are banned for 3 days from following anybody. Really? And I was like, in my head, I was like, no way, just in time for fucking follow back Friday. I'm going to miss out on a like, honestly, God. But, so it's made me realise now that followers don't mean that much. You've still got to be like on your game to actually mean something. Followers don't mean too much. I think everyone will follow everyone.
No. You've got to remember there's ways of creating accounts easily, and then manufacturing accounts to make it look like you've got shitloads of followers. And especially United. There's a fan cam channel that literally, if you were to go on their followers, I think they've got like 175,000 followers. But what's funny is most of the accounts that you go on have 2 or 3 followers, and they were made within the last 2 or 3 months. So they're just constantly spamming creating these bullshit accounts, these bot accounts, and then they just follow them to make them look more representable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, I think that,
Don't get wrong, people generally follow them. Do you know what I mean? Like there is people that generally follow them. Don't know why, but they do. But
mate, we're gonna have that. Even in our 500, I bet there's a good 10 who actually follow us because, like, oh yeah, I enjoyed that podcast. I mean, maybe, who knows? Hey, we've got close to 100 views so far in them first 3 videos. I even got 30 views last week on that fucking trash episode I put out last week. So, for me, we're doing something decent-ish anyway. But
we've not spammed the viewing button either, so like.
Yeah, well, you can. Well, I don't think you can. I tell you what, if we could, because I'm so fucking nervous about making some daft mistake, because I don't have any fucking experience doing this shit. This is all just me guessworking 90% of it. So when I listen to it back, I listen to it back or I skip through it a good few times. So I tell you what, if it did, we'd have like fucking 9 million views every video. Yeah. Of just like, oh, make sure there's no mistake. This is the thing. We're not, we're just doing it from a point of view where we had an idea. We thought, we talk to each other like this on a regular basis. Let's just do this and see what happens. Not like, oh, we're going to be big time bowlers, blah blah blah. But nobody's at the end of the day. We are not. Oh, yeah.
So it's not
most people are.
But do you know what it is? I think it's just having conversations with like-minded people. Do you know that?
Yeah.
That'd be the achievement for me.
Actually, this is why I had my idea. And I think going forward, it's something I definitely want to do. I've already told you that I wanted to get my scout on because obviously it's called Scout Out. Like one of the big things I started getting into is the PFSA, and I wanted to get one of their scouts on. And someone has agreed to come on and do a little chat with us about how they got into it and blah blah. Now can I? I'll give a shout out to the guy who's doing it to us. He pretty much set me straight on a path when it came to scouting. It's kind of stalkerish, not gonna lie, but on the PFSA website, it comes up and it gives like good thingy stories, blah blah blah. And he'd put on it, been off on his Twitter saying I've been offered a job for Everton under 23s, and PFSA had like screenshotted that and put it on their website.
Oh, really?
So when I was looking to get into it, I literally went on Twitter and just thought, right, I'll just fucking tweet his name and see like if I can find him. And I'm sure enough found him, so I just direct messaged him asking a few questions, and fucking sound as fuck. He said, here's my email, drop us a message, blah, blah, blah. Give me all sorts of like information, show me some of his past reports. And when you're trying to get into it, you're like, yeah, fucking hell, this helps quite a lot. So yeah, really sound guy. Said he'd come on. I said, man, might not be straight away because we're not even fully functioning people. I said, I don't know when. I'm not exactly sure when, but it's something I definitely want to do. Yeah. But going into that, the follow cap, what I wanted to do is, well, I said it to you the other night, and I don't think you was massively on board, but you probably wouldn't mind. But I said I wouldn't mind following and talking to a few people off a different few sports, just to find out different things about, what I mean, like different sports. Because I've only got 1 or 2 sports that I follow.
I've got no interest in learning about other sports because I just think, I think with stuff like this, it goes back to where people don't know what they're talking about, and yet they're talking about it. And I always used to get a bit annoyed about that.
No, but it wouldn't be us talking about this. Is what I'm saying. If we got someone from another podcast to come on, do a little 10-minute segment of just like, this is fencing. I'm going to tell you everything about fencing. You know what I mean? And I think it'd be kind of interesting. I followed one last night. It didn't follow me back, so fuck fencing. We're not going to do a fencing. We're not going to do a fencing one. But I thought it'd be really interesting just do these little segments where you just have someone else come on and just say, like, you know, tell us the rules and something, because 90% of the time I could easily get into stuff. If I knew more about it, I'd easily get into it. I've got that kind of personality. If I watch something, I'll end up getting hooked on it if I know what's going on. It's like rugby. I'd probably be onto rugby, but I can't get into it. I don't know the rules. I don't know what's going on. So that could even be a first one. So easy, such a normal sport. And if there was a rugby fan out there who does a little podcast, and I say someone who does a podcast because it's got to be someone who doesn't mind speaking and being recorded. I mean, the average Joe might not fancy having the voice put on YouTube or whatever, but
he's not saying it on the podcast yet, but this is when DJ's on his own again. He can invite somebody to do another sport when I'm not here. So
yeah, that's a shout actually. Yeah, I might do that. Yeah, the next time I'm just on my own, I'm like, yeah. But I think I did it a few years ago. Started following basketball out of nowhere. I started getting into it, followed the rules a little bit. And now fucking I stay up till like 3 a.m. watching fucking Sixers all the time.
I don't know how you do that. I really don't know how you do that.
That's what I mean. I think we might get an understanding and we might start following it, or someone might be listening. Not as if we get loads of viewers, but if one's listening, they're like, oh yeah, I like the sound of fencing. Before they know it, you know what I mean? Yeah, someone else has found a new.
I mean, it'd be interesting, definitely. Like, and that, you know, it would intrigue me, but at the same time, I mean, I don't, you know, I've got to tell myself I don't know what I'm fucking talking about when it comes to stuff like that. So for me to be talking about it, and I always think it from my perspective as a viewer or a listener in this case, where you kind of like. If somebody talk, do you remember that one, that Wigan Rotherham game? I was trying to watch it the other day, and I went on YouTube to try and stream it. So basically, I went on YouTube to try and watch Wigan Rotherham the other day, just because I was bored. I had nothing to do, and I was on the mic to DJ, and basically, right, some guy was on there. He didn't have a fucking clue what he was talking about, like no clue whatsoever. He didn't know the lineups. He didn't mention anything. You could have sat there and wondered what the fuck's going on. He didn't paint the scene. He didn't paint the scene like, oh, it's a piss wet through night. No, none of that. No, nothing. So he didn't have a clue what was going on. He just went, the players are coming out, and the fans are applauding. Well, no.
There's fans in the stadium. There's football players on the pitch. There's a ball. There's a referee, and someone's kicked a ball, and someone else has kicked a ball.
That was pretty much it. And I just thought, do you know what? Like, I'm not claiming I'm perfect. I'm not, and I'm, you know, at least he's trying. Do you know what I mean? At least he's trying. But don't try and cover something you don't have a clue about. Like, and he generally he got lost, and he was in his own house. He won't lost in his own house. Like,
that was definitely me last week. That I just got completely lost. Like, oh Jesus, what am I talking to here? Just talking to yourself. Oh, it was weird. But anyway, talking of people not knowing what they're talking about, let's get into our first little section, which is we've both done a little analysis breakdown of two of our favourite right wingers. This was Carl's idea. This was, you know what I mean? It was Carl who first said this. He was like, why have you not been talking about Bowler, who's a right winger for Blackpool? He was like,
can I just say, you said favourite. We're not going to say favourite. We went for the in and now.
Yeah.
So obviously, let's rephrase that, because as a United fan, there could be many.
Yeah, well, yeah. It's a lot easier for me to say it's my favourite right winger, because it's pretty much our only right winger. But yeah, it was his idea. He said it. He was like, oh, I talk about Bowler more. So yeah, fair enough. Like, yeah, let's do right winger. Then when he said right wing, that's when I came up with the idea of a like crossover right wing podcast. I thought, yes, this sounds good. You don't like the idea at all, do you?
Anything political, you know, you've got to remember, people in the politics are very like, if you don't agree with them, they will fucking hate you. So I'm not down with it. Like, and to be honest, if someone says no, your political opinion is wrong, you take it personally. It's always like, I'm gonna be like, what? Like, so I don't even.
Oh Jesus!
But trial and error.
Yeah, exactly. Trial and error. We'll see. We never know. This could be our biggest one yet. We do that right wing podcast and he gets 500 views. Okay, are we going to be political every week?
No, I mean, to be honest though, war isn't political. That's the thing, and I think because I've had. I'm not going to say I'm an expert. I'm not, but I've always been interested in Ukraine since like the annexation of the Crimea. So, and I was always like, why did that happen? What's the reasons for it? So, for me, that was like one that I thought, I felt confident speaking on that. When it comes to politics, I don't know if I've got basic knowledge, but
but that's what I'm going to teach you about. But that's for later, anyway. So go on. I've done Callum Lang for Wigan. You've done Alanga for United. Go on. Take the seat. Tell me what you found out.
Yeah. Well, basically, obviously, the first thing we've got to start. Obviously, me and DJ are from Greater Manchester, so no better place to start. That Alanga was originally from Sweden, but he signed for local club Hattersley in Hyde when he was 12. That is.
Actually, I found that crazy. That is when you told just before we came, when you told me that, I thought, no, fucking come on, what's that about? Round the corner from my house, what's he doing there? How's he gone from Sweden to fucking Hattersley?
Basically, the way they came about was he was actually wandering around looking to play for Hyde. But Hyde didn't turn up for the training.
Jesus Hyde, pull your fucking finger off. You know what I mean? That's my fucking local club. What are you doing? Oh dear, dearie me. That could have been my breakthrough. I could have been going down watching fucking Hyde, scouting him, and be like, is this kid called Alanga? He's class. Fucking hell.
But anyway, so basically, long story short, so he was looking to play for Hyde. Effectively, he was obviously in the area with his family who had just moved over. You've got to remember, Alanga's 12 at this point.
At this time, right? Yeah.
He's not like
he's only a baby.
You're like, why the fuck am I in Hyde? You know.
His family's not with him. He's just 12 in Hyde. Like, what have we got here?
So basically, he was looking to play for Hyde United, who would normally train on the set of cages next to Hattersley. But obviously, what happened was he'd gone over to Hattersley thinking they're Hyde. Just trained with him for like 10 minutes, and instantly Dave offered him Dave gone to him said
a lifetime contract.
Get him in, like straight away.
Fair enough.
As a kid, obviously he's he was basically a lot of them stated how good he was for Matt Lovey. You kind of get them stories, don't you? They all seem to kind of match one another. Where they say, he stood out. He was a talent. He was way above his. I mean, they were playing him in older age ranges as well because they could. And again, it's like you said. This is I quite like it because of we're obviously from East Manchester and Hyde is obviously very much East Manchester, and the fact that it's just local people talking about how good he is and stuff, and I quite like that. Obviously, if you don't know him, it's not as personable, but it's the fact that these people could be your next door neighbour. Do you know what I mean? And it's that's just top that, and yet he plays for United now. Interestingly, it was City who were interested in him first, which wouldn't surprise any football manager player because they're interested in every fucker under the age of 15.
That's why Man City and a Catholic priest have in common.
Oh god, we've just lost our Steve.
Imagine our fucking biggest part of their fucking followers are all Christians. Oh no.
Oh god. But so that's broke me that.
Regroup.
Yeah, regroup. Pull it back.
We'll cut that.
So here's the interesting one. I found out in 12 matches for Hattersley, he scored 17 goals.
Jesus, I think he was going to go somewhere.
And he actually assisted another 10. So in other words, about 27 goal involvements.
Oh my lord!
And that was like a higher age group as well. So he was drafted. So what they were saying was the club Hattersley themselves weren't surprised by his emergence because he'd been scouted by both Manchester clubs. They were very interesting. And I tell you what I did. I found this article actually that they said he actually covered so how Hattersley train on cages. It was like 80 quid, and he covered the cost of it a couple of times for the club.
Nice.
Which I thought was pretty cool. Oh wait a minute. He kindly paid the pitch fee of 80 quid. So I thought, thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah, nice. Found that.
Well, he's so yeah, obviously, I've talked about him from a youth level. He's obviously from Malmo in Sweden. Family moved over here. Cameroonian heritage.
I didn't know that.
His dad was a Cameroon international, Joseph Olanga.
I didn't know that either.
So
see, I'm learning. I'm liking this. I'm learning because obviously, like, I don't really follow United that much. I'm learning here.
If we have to remind ourselves, the podcast is called Scout It Out. I'm going for every depth.
His great grandfather. His great great-grandfather was a postman from Cardiff.
Yeah, do you know what? I'd love that. Like that. But the inside information like that. He had to work 24 hours a day so he could pay for his son's football fees. And stuff like that.
Yes, that would be excellent. He's already had a bit of an interesting story, to be fair, straight off the bat.
Oh, yeah.
Straight away, I want to know what his parents are thinking. Like, yeah, we're going to go from Sweden to Hattersley. Okay.
I know. Well, obviously, I don't really know this, so I couldn't really tell you. But what I could tell you is that his mum, obviously, and his sister took him down to Hyde, thinking he could just get on for Hyde. And then, obviously, when he started playing, they were like, "Wow, yeah, we need to sign him on." But obviously, it was for Hyde, not Hyde. So Hyde, what the hell, man?
It's frustrating me already. It's just annoying me that he could have had him. I hate stories like when teams could have easily had one of these like top class players, and they're just like, nah, it just won't turn up.
I know. I can't actually believe that. So yeah, it's crazy, but yeah, I mean, yeah, he obviously started at Malmo, but then you've got to remember when he was at Malmo in Sweden, he's probably about 10 years old, so he's still a kid, isn't he? And but he joined United at 12 years old. So he's
oh right, yeah. So it weren't long after when United were like, right, fucking get him.
No.
Fucking Ratsley, Jesus.
They actually stated that. So obviously, kind of like that year he was at Malmo. Then when he came over to Manchester, he went to Hattersley for a bit, played a few games. Well, obviously played those games and then got signed on for United pretty much within the same season. So pretty much within the space of a year, he's played for 3 clubs.
Hell, is that legal? Is that legal? Someone check it out.
Yeah, started on feet. Something's not right. But yeah, so Olanga's emergence for me, probably as a United fan, obviously would be United had a game against Wolves away at Molineux, which was for United it was a very deadbeat game. There was literally like nothing on it, and Solskjaer kind of rotated the team a bit, and Olanga obviously got to play a part in that, and he was brilliant. Like, he was so good. Like, to be honest, it was for both teams. So Wolves and United were just like,
dead.
This is just a dead game. But Olanga obviously was not like
that.
Like, this is my
change
team.
it. Yeah, fucking hell, yeah, big time. It's mould. Yeah, I was going to say it's interesting. Solskjaer brought him on because I thought he was manager of Malmo, but it's fucking Molde, isn't it, in Norway, not Malmo of Sweden.
Yeah,
that he managed that time.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I don't know if
I was thinking there's a little connection, but there's like now I'm thinking like no, there was zero connection. I just fucking got the teams wrong.
You know what though? You never know though, do you? That's the thing. Like I just said then, like you don't know, but you don't, do you? Like you think of other club connections. You just think, how is that even? I mean, just for us saying that Olanga played for Hattersley, like down the road is just insane, isn't it? So you just don't know the link. So maybe Solskjaer's linked with Malmo or something. But I don't know. I mean, maybe we're just casting. Maybe we've just turned into another fan cam channel that makes transfer rules.
Yeah, just making it up as we go along.
People listen to this are a bunch of fucking idiots. So yeah. But no, going back to what I was saying, like Olanga, he was such a good goal as well, like against Wolves. Like, it was brilliant, and I think like I think with Olanga reminds me of like when Rashford kind of jumped in scene, like when he came in, he just has that hunger, that fight, the desire. Whereas what's more upsetting is probably the fact that Rashford seems to have lost that recently. As well.
Oh yeah, I know. It's probably the right time to like mention Olanga in comparison to Rashford, because Rashford is all falling apart at the seams for him in a minute, innit? Flipping the bird to some fans the other day and then saying he was doing the old no, I was telling him to come here. It's like, no, you weren't, mate. You're flipping the bird.
But can we just stick make something clear about that. Right?
Mm.
If you're a grown man waiting outside Old Trafford at 11:30 on a weeknight just to give a player shit when he comes out, you're a fucking weirdo, aren't you?
Oh yeah.
Let's have it right. So these people, right, I've got no time for them whatsoever because they just, that's what he wanted. He got what he wanted. He wanted a reaction.
Yeah, exactly.
And he got it. So then he could go on his Twitter account and go, yeah, I've got to post this on social media, making what I'm about. Marcus Rashford has done more for Manchester than more people can make out they have.
Yeah, it's very true.
Like he's done some. I get that. You've got them people that go, he needs to concentrate on his football. He's just having a bad spell.
He is. Yeah. No, I've hated it. I've hated all that. Like, he's just getting jumped on for something quite inconspicuous. Like, is that a word? Inconspicuous. He didn't do much. I hate the fact he came out and kind of said he made a backstory. It's like, just go on, Rashford, hold your hands up. Just tell him he was being a cunt, so you told him to fuck off. You know what I mean? Like, I think he's in his right to say that. And I hate that whole side of United where it's like, let's get a statement out. Let's you throw a blanket over it. It's like, honestly, you're all human beings. Like, if you want to tell someone to fuck off, you should be fully able to. Like, I hate this moral high ground fans are allowed to take. He's like, fuck me, man. Fans are just fucking knobheads as well. Do you know what I mean? Like, fucking hell. Well, not all, obviously, but what I meant is like,
no, not all.
Every culture is gonna have cunts, really.
Yeah, but this is like, I feel like the people that would listen to this are not, are not like that. Do you know what I mean? I think they'd understand it. Whereas, the people like that, they're the ones that will go and follow fan cams and get a transfer room, get 3 transfer rumours a day, even though there's only 2 transfer windows a season past a month. Fucking grow up.
Just fucking grow up. That's gonna be our message to most people. Just fucking grow up.
Just grow up. Like, that's not football. Transfer windows are not football. Football is like, appreciating how good a football player is, appreciating phenomenal tactics, or scoring screamers, or phenomenal sliding tackles. That's football. Not all this bollocks that I don't see from any of them. But sorry, I'm going a bit off a tangent there. But like going back to like that Rashford evening, he knew what he wanted, and he knew what he wanted, and he knew what he got. Like, he just went on social media, like, he wanted that. That's what he wanted.
Yeah.
So I don't buy it. So it's not that Marcus Rashford is ever going to listen to this podcast. He won't. He think I'm a prick. But like,
we stand with you, Rashford. I'll clip that. I'll just clip that and send it to him.
Yeah, but I'm on his side 100%. 100%. And do you know what the funny thing is, especially with United, and I know you've said the same with Wigan as well. It's like there's that big divide in the fan base between people that will go to games and people that don't go to games. There's always that divide. And honestly, it's never United's probably the most divided fan base I know for the last couple of years, because
it seems that way.
You've got these people that are determined to, United have got 100 million, let's go make an £100 million signing. But where I don't like that, because I think some of our best performers are from our academy. So I'm thinking, like Scott McTominay, Anthony Elanga.
Well, it's true that. I suppose as a club you're a bit divided, because I think you're bang on, really. Some of your best performers have been academy products, and it's like, but then you've got the fucking whatever technical directors are, the directors saying, "Oh no, we need the shirt sales, so let's sign some fucking big names." Yeah,
and we've seen all that when Pogba, people rave about him. He's banged up at best. I'm not going to say he's terrible.
He came back when he was 23. 23 came back. He's 29 now, and look how much he's done. Nothing.
He's done nothing. No, but everybody says how class he is. And then I saw something on Twitter the other day. Oh my God! I nearly collapsed with absolute embarrassment for this account. It's a good job these accounts are all hidden behind like player faces, aren't they?
Yeah, they all are. Yeah.
But like someone was saying that the Paul Pogba is 10 times the player that Kevin De Bruyne is, and I thought, are you having a fucking laugh?
Jesus.
Like, you're off your head. You have to off your head. Like,
I think they are.
Like Kevin De Bruyne has achieved what specific? Well, it pains me to say it, but he has. But then, we're talking about him and like 10 times above him. He's fucking nowhere near.
No, that's crazy.
Just to go back to your point as well, talk about play. United's two most expensive player purchases in their history are Paul Pogba and Harry Maguire, and you've seen how well they've gone. So,
Jesus,
well, let's just make that clear. So, no.
Let's get back to Elanga. A little subway down to getting some of your thoughts on United off your chest. Let's get back to Elanga.
Yeah, well, so obviously he scored his first goal for United against Wolves in the final day of the league season of the 2020. Well, yeah, last season, 2021 season. So yeah, no, he was. But that was it. It was like he scored that, and then the season was over. And I couldn't help but feel a bit like, oh, like you
wanted more.
Yeah, you want to see that more, don't you? From like, I mean, it was similar to like, I don't know, James Wilson, for example, when we had the last game of the season, and Brian
James Wilson, Jesus,
yeah, proper fall from grace. But he scored 2 against Hull at Old Trafford. And Ryan Giggs was like his final game in charge, like his 3rd or 4th game, which was his final game in charge. And he scored 2, and everybody's like, "Fucking hell, just start Wilson next season." Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, it was crazy. But so that was similar impact, but then you wanted more, but that obviously wasn't going to happen. So then obviously he scored away against Brentford a couple of months ago in United's 3-1 win against Brentford, which was again, I think a lot of people would watch that and think United weren't, a 3-1 win looks like a good win. United weren't good in that game.
I could pause that there, copy and paste it, and just play that after every United game. I can't remember last time United probably played well. I think one of the one of the big things for you, I reckon, is how good your academy is. That's probably the only thing if I was a United fan, that would be the one thing keeping me going. Players like Elanga would be the only reason I'd be turning up and watching them every week.
Yeah,
because it's not much else.
It's it's from a watching football's perspective, it's always nice to see one of your own players come through and just smash it. And I think what United have always had is that they've always been, it's been quite well documented with United fans as well, how different managers, because there's been quite a few since Ferguson. Obviously, they've had like different players they've brought through, like Jose Mourinho brought through Scott McTominay, for example. So it is quite well documented. But Louis Van Gaal brought through about fucking 10 of them. I remember like Paddy McNair being a regular starter for United.
Jesus, Paddy McNair.
Yeah. So
you say these players, but they end up going on having half decent careers, don't they? They have like, even your worst like academy graduates always end up in like the championship. Like only one or two, well, probably more than 1 or 2, but it doesn't seem that many fall off completely. Yeah, James Wilson being one, he definitely fell off. I don't even know where. I think he's at Salford now, isn't he? It's no disrespect to Salford, but if you're scoring for United and then you're playing at Salford a few years later, something's fucking gone terribly wrong.
Well, some of them like get to the end of the careers and move a bit down. It's like Darren Gibson went to Salford as well, didn't he?
He's another Wigan legend. Don't disrespect our Wigan legends. He was
getting on a bit. So it was football in terms. He was getting on a bit. But got to be careful with that. But so it's just but it's like you were saying. You made a good point the other day, like with Wigan signing players from like the Premier League, and you can tell they've been trained by the Premier League because their ball control, their technical ability is a lot better than somebody that isn't, where they're a bit more hesitant or a bit more nervous on the ball. So it's like Will Keane is a prime example at Wigan. Obviously, was with United for a long time, but his technical ability on the ball,
and that composure.
I'm not saying he's world class, but like
obviously at the top level you can't see the difference. But honestly, you watch League One football, and honestly, like the difference is paramount. Like they just keep the ball a bit longer. They're just not scared to just like League One. You watched it yourself in that Wigan game. They were just lumping it forward. They get a bit panicking, like, oh fuck it, I'm just gonna shit it forward. But like some players,
I think Wigan, to be fair, like tried to move it about, but like that we did that like that. Well, we wanted to do it live. It didn't happen, obviously, for certain reasons.
Yeah,
like that. Like Wimbledon, they just smashed it. Like it was just diving on the ball out to that left hand side, and then just lose it. But then it's like surely in football, if something's not working for you, you try something different. Like, and I just struggle to understand what the manager was getting paid for at that point. He just thought,
Yeah,
just
just
carry
keep
on.
dicking it long,
Carry
lads.
on. It'll happen.
Oh,
Watch it.
fucking hell.
88
Yeah,
minutes. Fuck it, try it again. You know
Jesus.
it'll happen. You know, you're not going to try
Okay,
anything.
but it'll happen. No,
You know,
honestly.
you've
Yeah,
got to remember, the fans from Wimbledon travelled to Wigan to watch that, and
yeah.
their eyes were burning out of the sockets after seeing
Oh,
that. Like,
absolutely. No doubt about that. Have you got some pros and cons or anything for Alanga? What does he do good? I mean, I know a bit about Alanga, but I bet you know a bit more.
Yeah, Alanga for me, I tell you what he does do good, and this is going back to what we were just saying about confidence, is his drive against players. You know, like when he gets the ball, he's always looking to run at them. He's got so much confidence in terms of his dribbling. He wants to just steamroll it, just crack on, and just really try and get what he can. And his movement as well. His movement's quite sharp. You know, obviously it could always be better, don't get me wrong, and I think in the Premier League it's the hardest one where you've got to get your movement right because of the fitness levels and, you know, the other criteria, strength as well, you know, strength, resistance, you know, it's crazy.
So yeah, it's just straight away, I wouldn't put him down for that really. I wouldn't go turn around and say I'd expect him to be strong. Do you know what I mean? Like, not particularly anyway, because all I pretty much know about him is that he's a winger really. When I've watched him, I can't say I've watched him, but he's like avoided me. Like, every time I see to clock United when I watch him on TV, he don't come on, or he don't get to be involved that much when he does come on. So can't say I know that much.
No, do you know what? He's just really, his movement's great. I mean, before we got knocked out the other night, when we played against Atletico in the reverse fixture at their place, you know, it was so, United was so bad. Like, they were awful to watch. And then Alanga came on and he scored just out of the blue, and it was just, you know, and everybody was like, really? It's like, you know, this really happened. And he's just one of the, he's like a breath of fresh air, I think, for me. I think he just, you know, granted he didn't have the particularly best game against Atletico the other night where he started. No. He wasn't that great. But at the end of the day, he's 18. So,
18, lot to learn. 18, is that how old he is? Wow. I didn't know he was that young. I thought he was about 21, maybe 20, 21.
Pardon me, 19.
19 still, like, bloody hell, that's young, isn't it?
Yeah.
Flipping out. But yeah, so he scored away at Atletico as well, didn't he?
Yeah.
Bloody hell, like, fuck me, imagine 19 years old scoring away at fucking Atletico Madrid. Do you know what I mean? At 19, I was fucking pissed up on the floor of 42s. Just fucking stumbling about. Fucking hell, and he's fucking banging goals away at Atletico Madrid. That's fucking madness. I honestly didn't think he was that young. I thought he was a bit older than that.
It's all Hattersley, mate. They must have drilled it into him.
I can imagine the fucking Hattersley manager sat there with a fucking pipe and a fucking coffee. He's like, fucking taught him that. He's just looking at him and just fucking buzzing off that. Oh, what did you say he's got to work on then? What did you say his cons are? Nothing is fucking world class.
Oh no, I can't say that. I can't say that. No, I think you have to remember he's a very young player, and these things take time. But what I would say is sometimes, and do you know what? This isn't just against him. I'd say it against all United players. The final product, like certain thing, like they don't pass it at the right time, and if they do pass it at the right time, they pass it in the wrong direction. And if they do pass it at the wrong time, it's already intercepted. And everything's scripted. Everything's very telegraphed. Like, you know, you can read it like a book for United. It's very simple. You know, nothing's hard to understand. So they just need to change that. Like, you know, doing that over and over again. It was like watching it every night, and they kept trying to. Do you know what's really funny? It's kind of reminiscent of that Wimbledon thing. They kept trying to play it long.
Yeah, like, that's strange. Strange thinking about United doing that. Yeah,
and it's like when they actually get the ball down, just knock it about a bit. If United just said to one another, right, 3 touches, that's it. I reckon the football would be so much better because they do know how to get the ball down and play football. They just choose not to, and it's weird. It's very weird. But for me, final product, definitely.
Yeah, end product. Like you said though, if he's only 19, he's got a good few years to fucking grow that and fucking make more of that. So you're looking like you got a top player on your hands. Like, you could have, if a certain somebody didn't do what he's fucking done, but we won't mention his name because that'll just get some red flags. But you would have had quite a good, and say Rashford didn't fall off a bit, you would have had three behind the striker there, who all academy products fucking blazing, really, wouldn't you? You would have had fucking some team just off academy players, but you've had some fucking circumstances that have kind of not gone on well.
Do you know what though? Even excluding that, behind the scenes at United is an absolute shit show at the moment. And it has been for a long time as well. Like it's been so painful for a long time. So it's one of them. But I think one of the refreshing things about it is that at least there's players like Alanga that play for United, and when you watch him, you kind of think, wow, this guy's a kid and he's doing really well. So it's quite refreshing from that respect.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, I think that's like I was mentioning before. I think you've got a lot more from your academy than you've got from anywhere else to look forward to, really.
Oh God, yeah. Honestly, DJ, I know it sounds crazy, but if United would say, do you know what, we're going to fuck all the first team players off and just play with the youth team and see what we can. Like, we've got these players in that youth team that are incredible, like absolutely incredible. I'm not going to make out like I'm not going to even pretend that I watch the youth team because I don't watch United's youth team. But I can tell you for a fact to see people buzzing about him on Twitter. It's like Alejandro Garnacho, for example.
Mm-hmm.
He got called up to I think he's for Argentina's first team.
Bloody hell! How old is he? He must be young. 17, 16. So. Jesus.
17, 18.
Fucking hell. Argentina's national side, first team.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fucking pretty incredible. Jesus Christ. So,
I'll tell you what I do want to see from United, but pretty bit of this, but like Charlie McNeil signed from United from City as a youth player, banged in so many goals for City's youth team, signed for United and celebrated against City, which was amazing.
Already a United legend, Jesus Christ.
So
I find that bizarre, Jesus. It must have been a United player who just slipped through the net, surely.
I just want to see him get started for United in the first team. But again, I'd look for if United just played the youth team as the first team against like certain teams in the Premier League. Oh my days, I'd love it.
It'd be class. Well, I know you were saying you don't really watch them, and you I only said to do Alanga. How is that? Is it Joe Hugel doing? Because I'm sure he signed in for quite a bit of money from Sunderland a few years ago. I'm sure. I don't know if he's doing all right or anything, but like you said, you don't really follow him, so.
I'm not too sure.
No, I don't know. It only popped in my head because I remember seeing the name and then going to United a few years ago, like probably a couple of years ago now, when he was like 15, so he'd probably be about 17, 18 now. All right, I'll do mine.
There's certain players in that youth squad where you just think, God, we'd love it if we just got them in the first team instead. And, all these players that let us down week in, week out. Rather just play.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, yeah, that. I mean, I think if that'd be an ideal team, really. I think there's only a few teams in the whole world of football who do that. Is it Real Sociedad who do that? Do you know what I mean? There's only a few where you just play youth players. Villarreal, I think we was talking about this, not on the podcast, but we was talking about this a few years ago, like last year in the Europa League. How Villarreal, aren't they similar, where they play like 9 of the 11 are from the academy, so it's daft.
Yeah.
It's someone like that. That's what I mean. You have a few teams. It seems to be Spain seems to be popular for it, where they just play all these academy graduates. And I think a few, the closest to being doing that. And to be fair, it's cheating in some way because they definitely bought a lot of their academy graduates from when they're just younger, and they're just classed as academy players. But Chelsea are definitely the closest. Like if they had an academy 11, granted goalkeeper they'd be struggling, but there's Mark Gui, whatever he's called.
Yeah.
Footnote. It's hard to say that second name. Call up the England squad. So you'd have him and say Tomori. But I know Tomori's been sold now, but you could have had them two centre back. Bloody hell. Had fucking Lamptey at left back and Reece James right back.
Oh,
Uh,
mate.
do you know what I mean? Conor Gallagher, Mason Mount, fucking daft. Like their team, both Trevor Shalabar, he's doing decent for him now as well. Probably not both Shalabars. I think Nathaniel Shalabar fell off a bit.
I don't understand how Tomori's not been included in that team. AC Milan at top of the league. He's absolutely flying. He's
strange.
I mean, it just and yet Harry Maguire's been called up.
I hate that. Well, that's what we should have added to this podcast. Maybe we should, like, off the cusp, we'll do that. We'll talk about that near the end. Because what I'm thinking now is because such a person's not here. What we'll do is we'll do an hour and a half of this because it's already 50 minutes, which I thought is fucking flown by. I just looked at it's 50 minutes recorded. I was like, Jesus Christ. We'll do an hour and a half on football and just half an hour on right wing because I think it won't work as well with just us two. Yeah, but yeah, we'll talk about that in a bit actually.
Let's flip it then. Let's flip it. So your right winger then, you mentioned Callum Lang earlier.
Yes. Yeah, we've just gone fucking Callum Lang. I'd definitely say, I was going to say he's my favourite player at the minute, but I think Jack Watmore takes that edge at the minute. Jack Watmore's unreal. I said I was taking a piss out of Portsmouth fans the other week saying I can't believe that we got him on a free, and I can't believe they said he would be injury prone, and he's not even had he's had nothing. He's played every second. I can't believe how good he's been. But yeah, aside from that, Callum Lang is. The thing with Callum Lang is he's our like academy products. Like he is now because we had fucking Alfie Devine, Gallard, and fucking Gallard who scored for Leeds at the weekend again, and Jensen Way, 3 academy graduates all playing for England youth setups, and it looked like they were going to be our fucking golden era.
Well, are we Joe Gallard as well? Am I right?
Yeah, Gallard. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. He scored against Norwich for Leeds the other week. Yeah. We sold him all in administration. We had to sell them all. To be fair to the lads, they fucking kept the club going. We sold Sean McGurk and Kyle Joseph as well. We had like fucking 6 or 7 players all coming through who looked like they were going to be fucking top class. I had to sell them all for peanuts. But that aside, but apart from that, Langy, he was like the original. I remember tweeting him, Jesus Christ, I'm going back like, he must have been about 15. So it was weird that I tweeted him like some kind of weird groomer. Tweeting saying something like, fucking every time we score in the academy, it's Callum Lang. And at the time, you just knew, everyone kind of knew at the club he's going to be class. Like, you could just tell he's going to be fucking class. And that was years ago. That was like when he was 15. He's 23 now. I just put 23, 5'9", which is a nice height for a winger. I put that in brackets. Nice height for a winger. Well, yeah, he started off for us in the academy. Couldn't get a breakthrough at all, really. Not in the club. Loaned him out, and I think this is good because I think he was probably about 19 at the time. He scored 10 in 30 for Morecambe in League 2, which at a young age, you know what I mean, it's in Premier League, so League 2, 10 goals, not bad. And then he went out again to Oldham, which again, I think like, oh yeah, this is fucking, he's doing well here, so he's probably like 20 years old. 15 involvements in 42 games in League 2. So again, you can see that progression. But then he had a setback. He went to League 1, and this is where a few fans probably thought, like, we was in the Championship at this point, this season, 21. He was probably at about this age. He got 3 in 16 for Shrewsbury, but they were struggling in League 1. So it's hard to write him off there. But I think a lot of fans then probably started thinking, like, right, it's just going to be another one. Another Sam Cosgrove, who we talked about last week, where he comes through the academy, but nothing happens. He just doesn't catch a break, and that's it. Like, it seemed that way at that time because we was in the Championship, and I might mention this in a second as well. I think if we never went through administration, I think I'm like 75% certain we'd be in the Premier League. Like, that's how good we were at the point where he was dawdling about. But yeah, he was at Shrewsbury. He got injured halfway through, so that's why he only played 16 games. But he only scored 3, and it didn't seem. From what I heard off Shrewsbury fans, though, he was playing pretty good. Like, he seemed to be having a decent time.
Well, I was gonna rewind you on that because I know with Oldham fans they were desperate to keep hold of him when.
Oh yeah.
Like they genuinely loved him. Like he was like their spark player, wasn't he?
Yeah, he scored that one of their most famous goals in the FA Cup against Fulham when they beat Fulham away. Callum Lang scored the second goal in that. So yeah, he's thought of highly at Oldham. Yeah, like same as you, I know a lot of Oldham fans. Really, they just loved him. Like, yeah, But here's one of the main strengths I heard off them. They just said he never stopped running. He just never stops. Like, he just closes down everything, which we've seen now. Like, that's how he plays. He just runs and runs and runs and runs. But yeah, then coming into, and I think this is a key point of Callum Lang's career at Wigan. When we went into administration over the summer, he comes back from Shrewsbury, and then for some bizarre reason, a lot of fans hate that this happened, but I feel like there was a reason behind it. He gets loaned out when we've got no players. We've had to sell our whole squad. We've got no one to play for us apart from people we've signed on a free, like Will Keane, blah, 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 who's ended up doing well for us, or like Solomon Otterbohr, and just random players, Dan Gardner. Like, these random players who just had to sign them all on a free. We've got Callum Lang, academy graduate, definitely League One standard. And we loan him out to Motherwell, and every fan is sat. Every fan sat around scratching their head. And honestly, he got loaned. It was a loan until January to Motherwell, when we're on our knees, like, no players, like, we fucked it. Like, how are we going to stay up? Everyone was thinking, like, yeah, Langy will lead the line. Like, you know what I mean? He'll be our big player. He gets loaned out. I think what happened here. And I think, to be fair, I'm saying this, but I think I'm just trying to understand it in my own head. What I think happened here is they were thinking, look, everyone's taking the team apart. If Callum Lang starts playing well just before the window closes, someone else will snap him up. So, do you know what I mean? I feel like it was a bit of, we'll loan him out so someone can't fully sign him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it gives us a bit more time to try and get an owner in. He didn't do great at Motherwell. He got 3 in 17, but again, positive reviews. Morecambe, Shrewsbury, Oldham, Motherwell, all them fans, you asked them, they're like, yeah, Lang, you were class for us. But yeah,
I think to be honest, I know in his position he'll be rated off his goals and assists, but it's more than just that. It's his involvement. Is he involved in the build-up and things? And I think that is the kind of player he is. He was always. He's involved more and involved. It's not always about goals and assists. It's not fantasy football. That's just,
yeah. He's a very good player. He's a point I always try and make with people. Like, it's not fantasy football. A lot of the time, football. Like, there's players on the pitch who might not score or assist, but they could be the most important player on the pitch because, like, they just work so hard for the team. Yeah. Like, but yeah, then he comes back like the fucking Messiah in January of that season. Like, it was the turning point for me. Probably a lot of Wigan fans would agree. He comes back like out of nowhere. It's like a new signing. All of a sudden, we go from John Sheridan, just fucking. I've probably already said it already on the podcast. Like, having an absolute nightmare with the team. Like, everything's a nightmare. Like, we just look like we're going down. We get knocked out the FA Cup by Charlie. We just look a fucking mess. Like, it's just like, oh, we're going League 2 next season, done. Like, the season's over. We were rock bottom. Everything's falling apart. January comes round, and here's the thing as well. A lot of the players we had were all on like 2-3 month deals. So like some Will Keane, Solomon Otterbohr, God, who else? There was just loads. Where Curtis Tilt, loads of these players where it was like they were on 2. Oh no, Curtis Tilt hadn't even joined then. I think he joined in the January, but we looked for all the world like we'd fucked it. Genuinely fucked it. Like, we've got no players. We're gonna have to release the ones we've got, and that's it. And then I can't remember what happened, but we seemed to get money from somewhere. I think a bidder had put in like a bid. What's it called? A deposit, and then that deposit was non-refundable. And I feel like we used a bit of that money to pay some players. This is exactly what happened. Someone bid for the club, but then none of the paperwork went through, and it was a non-refundable deposit. So I think it was something like 100 grand, which, fucking hell, when you've got no money, is a massive sum. And I think with that money, we probably could afford a bit more. Because all of a sudden it was like, oh yeah, we can pay for stuff now. And then we got a few more players until the end of the season. Then Callum Lang comes back. And for me, that is the turning point. Like, that lad, he just fucking, from that moment on, played unbelievable. And he's been playing like that ever since. Now, in his Wigan career, he's got 21 goals in 56 games. And yeah, he mainly plays from the right as well. So it's not as if he's an out-and-out striker. He's mainly played from the right. like as an inside forward, but he's chipped in with assists as well. But 1 second, everybody, got to switch over to the next fucking tape. We only got an hour.
We're back.
We're the fucking back. Oh Jesus, I hate that.
Yeah.
Fuck, what are you even saying?
I know.
It's annoying, that, isn't it? I should have clocked the timer and thought, right, yeah, I'll start that in a sec. Yeah, Callum Lang is world class. No, what was I saying? Jesus, bloody hell, put a stopper in me there.
Yeah, you're just saying about his goal ratio per game was like 21 in like.
Oh yeah, 21 in 56. Getting some assists as well. But yeah, he's driving runs and everything.
Incredible turnaround, really, from like the career that he's had so far. Well, it's just a really good start. You know, he's had a really good start to his career, hasn't he? So he's bound to. I think, obviously, from a Wigan perspective, obviously, you know what happens. Clubs get wind of him. I think in Wigan's position, though, they're in a comfortable position where they feel like they could probably retain players, don't they? Really?
Oh yeah, he's just Here was one of the big things I was going to flag up straight away. Signed a new 4-year contract. What a bonus that is! 4-year contract. One of the biggest things that the club's done is sign him down for a 4-year contract. Him and Tilo Asgard, who I could do another analysis on. He's on other fucking top class academy graduate. He got a 4-year as well.
What about what's his contract?
Probably about 3, I reckon. Oh, really? We didn't seem to give the new signings as long, but the academy graduates pinned them down. Callum Lang on a 4-year. I mean, that for me is saying to us, like, we set the price, you want him, you're going to have to fucking pay. And talking of him being interested in Thingy, I remember about 2-3 years ago, Everton were interested in him. Trying to sign him, and I had an argument with Kevin Campbell about him. He's the ex-striker for Everton. Yeah. He put something on, like winking at him or something, and like putting the shifty eyes on Twitter to him, and I was like, "Oh, Kevin, get fucked." He plays for Wigan, and then he replied saying like, "Oh no, he's gonna come to Everton or something," and I was like, "Is he fuck?" I just remember I had this weird argument with Kevin Campbell on Twitter. You know, it's one of the moments where you just never expect to get a reply, and then just fucking Kevin Campbell chipped in saying something. I can't remember what he said, but I was just like, what on earth? Yeah. But
the only way Goodison is if he handcuffed himself to the post.
Yeah, seems the only way to stay there in a minute. But yeah, I put some of his pros down. I did a nice little pros and cons. I was like writing this up, but he's just because I think I'm going to say that because I got completely lost because we had to lose that other link. But yeah, he's got unbelievable pace, which is a given. Like, he's just quick. Like, for League One, like, that's a massive thing. Like, a lot of the players are journeymen who fucking pretty slow. So having a quick player on the pitch fucking changes the game. And what underpins it, is that right? What makes it better is his acceleration. Like, from 0 to 100 is so quick. He really, like, can just turn and then explode away from his man. He does it all the time. Like, his left back will be just trying to stay tight to him, and he'll step away, and then he's gone. Then he's just down the right wing, and they can't get near him. Comes in handy when he's got good close control as well, which is good for a winger. He's for League One. You look at him, and once you start racking him up, you're like, "Fuck me!" Someone will definitely try snapping him up because his close control is very good as well.
I suppose what I'd ask you from this though would be like, obviously Wigan are in a very good driving seat in terms of achieving promotion this season. Is he a starter in the Championship for Wigan next season?
He's one of them. We've never seen him in there. When I was on my own last week, because I was just like, what do I talk about? I did my own I spoke it out loud talking about the players I'd expect to have in the Championship, and there was Jason Kerr in a 5 because I expect us to play in a back 5. Jack Watmo, obviously, that kid for me. I mean, a lot of people would look at you funny if you said Dan Burn would be a Premier League player because he used to play for us in League One as well. And for me, Jack Watmo's better than what Dan Burn was when they both played in League One. So for me, Jack Watmo could even go another level up. But yeah, I think Jack Watmo. And then after that, I was starting to struggle. Cousins has played there recently. Graham Shinney, I reckon, definitely has the quality to play there. And then Callum Lang was the other one. I think he does. I think he has that. Yeah, maybe through the middle though, because one of the pros that I've got down on this list as well is his finishing. Is fucking hell, has it improved? His finishing was so hit and miss a few seasons ago. But if someone said to me, if Callum Lang's through on goal 1-on-1, do you think he's going to score? Now I'd say, yeah, I'd back him to score now. He's really. We took James Beattie on as a coach, obviously, really good striker coach. Worked with Chris Wood when he was at Leeds. And I think it's something's worked because he's just fucking miles better now. Like his finishing is so much better. So I think through the middle with Callum Lang, I think we'd be doing all right. That wouldn't suit our style of play though. That's the only issue there. I don't think we could really go direct with him or anything like that.
Yeah.
But I think maybe we'd have to see. It's one of them things, isn't it? I could say like, yeah, of course he's class, and then he goes and then he scores like 5 goals all season, and it's like maybe not. Because look at some, like I think I don't know. There's some like last season who were tearing up in League One, and now it's like they're really struggling in the Championship, which is just a standard thing, really, isn't it? I mean, like that happens all the time, like at every level, really.
It's weird, isn't it? I mean, we were saying the other day about like teams doing well and teams not doing well, and considering their squad. I mean, Charlton are in free fall, but you look at the squad and you think that's a bit odd. Because they look like they've got a decent set of players, so it just seems very odd. But I think that was, I think you've answered my question on that, because I always think, it's different from United's perspective, but from Wigan's perspective, obviously, with them being in a big promotion fight this season, obviously, I'm not suggesting for a minute that they're definitely going to do it, but if they do, it's like, who do you keep, who do you get rid of? And Wangi obviously seems like someone you would keep in a heart.
Yeah, well, he definitely is. I think we'd keep a lot of the squad though. I think that might. I don't want. It's a weird one because they do so well this season, but it made him like, would that be a mistake? I remember when we went up last time, Max Power looked good in League One, and then didn't work for him in the Championship. So many players were like, oh yeah, Will Grigg, the biggest one ever. I think he only scored 5 for us in the Championship, and look out, fucking hell, he was unbelievable in League One.
Yeah.
But it's one of them things like who suits the style. And Callum Lang, I think Callum Lang suits it more than the average striker. But then I feel he'd be harsh on Charlie if we go up and Charlie White, gets his career back on the ground. He's like, yeah, I'm going to start over again. And then we're like, no, fuck off, you're not good enough for the Championship. That'd be a bit harsh. Like he's only just come back into fitness, and it's like, well, we're promoted now, so we don't need you. So I think we'd give him a go. Charlie White's one of them. He looked unbelievable when he played for us this season. So I think he's another one where we could have him up front and have Lang off the right of him. That probably would work.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Langy, I'd definitely say either as a right winger or as a striker. I'd say with his pace, he's definitely a handful for most at the Championship level.
Yeah.
And it is the other thing as well. The same as what you were saying about Langer. He's got that kind of strength and desire. And a lot of things I heard of other fans saying, he just never gives up. He just chases everything down.
Yeah.
It's
desire.
I think it is. I think players you lose that the older they get, and that's when they fall down the leagues.
Yeah.
Because it seems to definitely help Callum Lang. Like it's one of the biggest things, and I flagged it up on my cons as well. Actually, I said strength and desire, pro and con, because at the same time he's already racked up 10 yellow cards this season as well because he just gets stuck in. He's suspended for the last two. Well, the last game and this game coming up tomorrow. He's suspended because he just gets stuck in and closes it down, makes challenges, and you're going to get booked. He's super aggressive like that as well. So it's one of them things. It's good at the same time though. When you get suspended, it's bad. So yeah, I had strength and desire, but then his cons, and this is the biggest one. And I think a lot of the Wigan fans would agree with me. The guy cannot cross for shit. His crossing is fucking horrific. Yeah. It's improved slightly, I think. I've not seen him.
Can I just say, before you get into the crossing, it's worth mentioning at this point that United, it took them 140 corners before they scored again from a corner. So if he's that bad, then Jesus. Yeah.
Gee, no, that is fucking bad.
It didn't sound like he is.
Well, fucking hell, no. Well, now and again, he'll put one in where you're like, oh, that's a fucking belter. But for a patch of the season, he was like an out-and-out winger because we had Charlie Wyke in the middle. Now it seems like he's a winger where it's like running the channel, try and score himself, blah, 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 which he's always done. But when we had Charlie Wyke on the pitch, it was like, right, turn the full back, get a cross in, and some of these crosses, fuck me, they were going out for throw-ins. They were just, he'd hit them like fucking 80 yards in the air. He'd fucking hit them like looking for a plane or something. Like, they were fucking madness. Like, really bad crosser. So it works well that he's fucking fantastic at everything else. He's great at finishing. He's great at a lot of other things, but his crossing ability that's what lets him down. And I don't think many would play him as an out-and-out winger anyway. So it's not really a con, because I don't think if you're a bit daft if you're thinking that he's going to be a Beckham. You know what I mean? You're a stupid man. You're a bit of a dumb manager if you're thinking Callum Lang's going to, you know what I mean, beat his man, get to byline and put a cross in. That's not his game in the slightest. And apart from that, I've not really got any other cons. He does everything well. He has this little thing which I know other fans might have picked up on, but I fucking love it. I don't know why or when he started doing it, but he backs into players and it works twofold. He either wins a foul because obviously he's backing in, the defender's going to make a foul on him, or they get too tight to him because he's backing in. He just fucking turns them and he's away. And he is fucking away. Like I said before about his pace, he just does it all the time. And what's even better is he goes inside or outside when he does it. He just accelerates after backing in and boom, he's away. And I love that little turn. And when he drives inside, the amount of space he opens up is unreal. He's close control because the defenders don't want to dive in. Yeah. So if they dive in, they leave a massive hole behind them. And they just back off. And it's like he's just got acres to run into. And watching him do that when he does that, it's just a game changer. And I think that's probably why he's our most important player, really. And then his goal against Lincoln, that's one of the things I flagged up. He scored this unbelievable goal against Lincoln last season. He just out from the left. They were top of the table, mind you, at the time. Like, I remember when we played him, I thought, like, Jesus, like, we've got no chance. And then out of nowhere, he just fucking from the left, cut inside, honestly, about 30 yards out and just smacked it top bins. He's not a player who ever does that. He never would do that. And he just fucking smashes it top bins. Unbelievable goal. But yeah, we lost that game anyway. But to start off with that goal, like, look it up on YouTube. It's a fucking unbelievable hit. But yeah, that's it. That's why I had on Callum Lang. Yeah. But yeah, we'll move on. Yeah. We'll go to what I had next, which was the end of the show. I can't remember because I had it all planned out, but we had a thing. Oh, that's what we had. The return of Masters Football. That's coming back soon. I'm not so sure if you've seen. Yeah, well, I used to watch it all the time on Sky Sports. I'm
not going to say it was worth the Sky Sports fee a month alone, but do you know what? It's a big. Do you know what? I think anybody who loves football is more likely to pay for Sky now that that's back. Rather than having it as well. Yeah,
it's so fun. I'm not 100% if it is with Sky though. The guy who bought the rights, I'm not sure if it is with Sky.
Me personally, though, and I don't know if viewers would appreciate this or just think I'm talking out my ass, but do you know how back in like the 90s and early 90s, we used to have like Goal d'Italia. Now, I would love a Masters Football from Italian football of that time as well. Like to see for me, like seeing like Shevchenko just get about in Masters Football. Oh my days!
Yeah. It's beautiful. Like it's just. As soon as I seen it, it was just. Sorry, it was
Zaghi. Just like in the mate, I'd absolutely. I'd just flip with joy. I'd just flip with joy.
It's always a fucking highlight. As soon as I saw the article, there was just that like, oh yes, this brings back so many fucking good memories. Just like lazy afternoons, just flicking on and watching these old men kick a ball around. It's just fucking so fun to watch. And so good as well. Like they still fucking have it as well, which is always fucking mint. Like there's still so many of them who are still class.
It's so hard to do it on this. So I think it has to be asked then who's your five, then who's your
six. It's a six aside. I had a six aside down. Yeah, well, I double checked this because I weren't sure. I didn't want to come on and be like, what's your five aside? And it was a six aside, so I double checked it. And apparently, it's a six aside. I'm not sure if that's a new format for the one who's just bought the rights to it or the old one, because as much as I used to enjoy it, I can't 100% remember how many players were on the pitch at the time. But apparently, yeah, 6-a-side. But yeah, I had my 6-a-side. Obviously, it's all Wigan based. So mine's for Wigan, yours is for United. Yours will probably have a bit more popularity because not many, apart from Wigan fans, not many are going to know mine.
Listen, if Zaki's in that team, then I doubt it. I think the Wigan one will be better.
No, well, it is. Well, he's not. He's not made it.
Well, it's not better.
I think, let's just put it this way. I think if both our teams had a match, I think yours would probably win. I had and let's remind everyone, when I was doing this, I was thinking more 6-a-side. Straight away, this is where I reckon we'd fucking do you here. I've got Al Abzi, for me, one of the best shot stoppers in the Premier League history. Honest to God, I would honestly put him up there as one of the top 10 greatest all-time shot stoppers in the Premier League. And I'm not even being biased or even taking the piss. I'm not even saying that. I am saying it with a smile on my face, but genuinely, watch some of the compilation videos of him. Oh, fuck me, some of the saves he made for us were unbelievable. Deflected shots where he's going the other way, and he just fucking out of nowhere makes these mad saves. He just fucking. Granted, he weren't great at being a goalkeeper. All the things that keepers are supposed to do, like come out, claim corners, command his area, blah blah. He didn't really have that. But like a Barthez, where just everything else is a bit of a fucking terrible at it, but shot stopping fucking unreal. So Al Labsy, proper. He hates Bolton. He is a blue. That was the chant. Al Labsy is a blue. He's a blue. He's a blue. Al Labsy is a blue. He hates Bolton. But anyway, because he used to play for Bolton. I had one defender. I'm not sure if it's a great tactic because I've got all attacking players. But
it is what you make it. Yeah,
I've gone with Emerson Boyce because he's just a club legend one of my favourites. Captain for the FA Cup final. Just a brilliant player.
I would have picked Maina Figueroa just for the screamers.
He just threw dicking left foot shots from all over the gap. The only thing with that is the nets are far too small for someone like Figueroa. He's just fucking spanking them from all over. But no, went for Emerson Boyce, club legend. Seems like such a top guy as well. But yeah, I think that's the kind of defender that's good for a 6-a-side because he's a right back, but a really good tackling right back. Do you know what I mean? So he's better on the ball than your average centre back, but he can cover the ground more. He's still good at tackling. So for me, that's better than your average centre back. I always see these and I see your John Terrys and stuff. And it's yeah, but I'm not sure that's more as important. For defending, I feel I'm not sure if that's more important than 6-a-side. So anyway, yeah, I went with Boise. And then these two. This is where it gets interesting for me. I don't know. Probably compared to your players, maybe it'll look a bit daft, but we've got Sean Maloney and Jordi Gomez in centre mid. Them two passing the ball around. I'll probably able to watch that all day.
You've just gone for technical ability in this team.
Of course I have. If you're playing 6-a-side, imagine 6-a-side with them two just chasing the ball around all day.
To be fair, mate, yeah, you're not wrong. I should have probably done the same. I just went for egos and reputation. You've just gone for technical ability.
Oh, you know what? I've just thought actually, I might be banned here. I might have to rethink this because I'm not sure what the rules are, but I'm sure they can't. All right, Maloney's safe, but what's Jordi Gomez? They have to be over 35. I'm sure that's a rule.
Well, just for the sake of this,
he's 36. He's 36. I'm pretty sure he's still playing as well, which is definitely a rule. He's not allowed to still be playing.
I've got work tomorrow, so we'll count it in. But it's interesting. I actually expected to hear Ben Watson then, but as far as I'm aware, that would
Ben Watson would be awful. He'd be all right, but I think for Wigan, he's mainly a legend for one header. Do you know what I mean? He never did much.
I just went for that reputation. He's got to do it just for that. But no. And then what you've said makes more sense. You wouldn't just put a player in. They might be absolutely shite and score the winning goal in the cup. That's fine, but it doesn't make you any good, does it?
No. And then up front, Wigan's most iconic and dynamic duo, Roberts and Ellington. I think if you want goals, and if you're a Wigan fan, you can't not put them two in. Do you know what I mean? If you got to go with them two. I know you could have gone with more strikers, Hugo Rodallega, Zaki, like you said, or I don't know. We never really had. I think our top goal scorer of all time in Premier League's Rodallega with 20 goals. That's not even in one season. That's just ever. Yeah, because I think the issue with us is when I have a player start doing well, someone buys him. Someone just goes, right, yeah. That's what happened with Robert Snelling. And the second he went up after an amazing season, and I think Ellington got bought straight away, and then Roberts got bought like a season later. Do you know what I mean? It's slim pickings. So, but yeah, went with that. What did you go with, Jonesy?
Jeez, we've done. Mine's a bit more off the cuff because you sound like you planned yours. I've not even planned mine. So
I think neither of us really planned that much.
So in there, because Peter Schmeichel went to City, which is an embarrassment, I'm going to go.
What a reason!
Just for that reason. So fucking not having it. Not having it. No. I don't know. Do you know with Van der Sar? I think he was in some ways underrated because we signed him on the cheap from Fulham, and he was just such a brick wall. And
Van der Sar.
And to be honest, I suppose he's to be congratulated for a lot of the reasons why I say like Ferdinand and Vidic kept it together. You know, people talk about Ferdinand and Vidic obviously being like a brick wall, if you like, but. He was a big communicator in that, so I think Van der Sar definitely for me. It was between Van der Sar and Schmeichel, but obviously for reasons which is different. I'm going to go with Van der Sar. So Van der Sar. Defender wise, I'd probably go with one different. I'd go with like a strong centre back. I don't know if that's wise in six-a-side, to be honest. Do you know what? I just want a team of Looney Tunes. Do you know what? Because they're the best value, aren't they? So this team, by the way, is not United's best six-a-time team ever. It's just a team that I just want to see do massive football. So Nemanja Vidic was
the boy.
Yeah. What he'd see him do. Someone's drilling a ball into the top corner. I just want to see him throw his fucking nose into it and break his nose.
He's my all-time favourite centre-back in Premier League, Vidic. When I used to play football 11 side as a kid, I used to always wear number 15 just because I was fucking Vidic. Just like, what a fucking player.
Yeah.
Fucking unbelievable. Throw his head on everything. Like, what a fucking player.
Yeah, he was just a psycho.
Exactly.
Just an absolute psycho. So for that, I can't not have him in. So there's my second. So that's Van der Sar and Vidic. Midfield, this is going to sound so obvious, especially for myself, but if it's not, I'd have to go Keane and Scholes, really. Although, to be honest, with Keane and Scholes, I did think Brian Robson as well, because I think like Keane and Robson in the same team would just be insane. Do you know? I think for the purpose of this, I probably would just go Keane and Robson because everybody knows how good Paul Scholes is. But Keane and Robson playing the same team, fucking hell, that'd be insane. That'd actually be insane. But in real world Masters though, is he going to be fit enough? he's getting on. Fuck! I'm not picking a team to win. I'm picking a team I want to see the most.
My eyes are lighting up here. I think he got half a chance here. Get Keane sent off early on. we're up.
Listen, they could get spanked off at us with 3-0 for their reserve team, but fuck it, this would be mint to what Keane and Robson in the midfield. I mean, if I was doing it from like the perspective of trying to win the game, oh god, I mean, you go for the ones that had recently retired. I mean, you could even do Paul Scholes would have to be in there obviously because he's still got it, so he'd have to be in there. Who else in the midfield? I mean, I'm trying to think it. No, I'm going against the grain. No, I want to see Keane and Robson in the midfield. That's what I want to see. Right, there's no doubt about it. Up the top of the pitch, Wayne Rooney's got to be in there.
Yeah, I'd say he'd be unbelievable at six-a-side as well. Imagine he wouldn't stop running either. What a pest he'd be, Jesus. Yeah. He's at a perfect age of just retired as well.
Do you know what? I'm stuck on my goalkeeper now. I think Fabian Barthez would be pretty fun at this. You know,
Oh, yeah, just a fucking case. Yeah. I think that would be a bit of a mental fucking six. I tell you what, no one would want to play that six-a-side. It'd be that like. Remember when we used to play six-a-side, and now and again you'd play like that rough team. It's like you're gonna get the fucking kicks. You're gonna get fucking kicked all over the pitch now. Like fuck, like no one wants to play them teams, and it's the same as this Masters team. like fuck this, I can't be asked. I don't think you. Do you get another striker? Oh yeah, you get one more striker.
So obviously I've got 2 left, and I'm stuck between 3 because I think Rooney, Van Nistelrooy, and Van Persie.
All 3 there. Like fuck me.
Like that'd be
so between Van Persie and Van Nistelrooy.
Yeah.
Gee, imagine a goal line game Van Nistelrooy would do. You know what I mean? Decided just like that kid were there, just waiting right near the post, like. Ooh.
I just want him to do what he did against Repka in that like international game against Czech Republic, where he just stood his face and fucking celebrated in front of him, like he tried to get it in, like just something like that. But it's interesting. I think. Yeah, I'm just going for egos here. So like that team would just be so like they'd be the most determined team ever. You know what? Every one of them would have to wear the armband because they'd all be captains. So it just it's just one of them. I think that would be the team that intrigued me with the most as far as Masters football. I'm not going to say it's the best one, but I'm sure some.
Yeah. I think decent though.
I think the only people that would disagree with me is probably fan cam as well. They probably want Pogba and De Gea in the team, just thinking fuck off.
I swear, I might have said this before. We're definitely going to recall this podcast as fuck fan cams. You bring it up all the time, like fucking fan cams.
It needs to be called out, mate.
Just stomp it out. You're going to be fucking tying yourself to a post at a football game soon, like fucking just stop fan cams. Oh god. Well, we briefly wanted to mention that as well because I was thinking of stuff to fill the gap in, but it was fucking crazy to see. I think it happened in the game I've just been watching there, Wolves Leeds. Again, I saw a fan getting dragged away, so I think they tried it again. Seems to be a thing now.
I think that was to do with the celebrations. I've got it on in the background as well now. So
was it? I have it on mute. It could have been anything. I had it on mute, yeah, so I didn't really know. But I just saw a bit of a stoppage in the game and then someone getting dragged away.
Yeah. That game, by the way. That game.
Oh no, yeah, it was crazy. No, I weren't sure whether to bring it up or not. I've just got one eye on it in the background, like, fuck me, what's going on here?
Absolutely insane 2-0 up.
Yeah, it should have been about 3 red cards as well. Shouldn't it? You see, it should have been a fucking few. Moutinho did well today on.
There's been some very interesting challenges. The thing is, I think any red card now is dubious, isn't it? Because they're just always like up for debate, aren't they? So it's very interesting. But no, it turned and it said that red card Wolves absolutely battered them, and then obviously once that red card Leeds just absolutely turned around and battered Wolves.
Jimenez in my fantasy football team as well. Hey, nice one, Jimmy. Oh, Jesus.
I tell you what, I know we have to stick this 5 and 6 aside, Masters to our clubs, but I mean, on the whole, I mean, imagine watching Masters football. You'd have like Xavi and Iniesta and Scholes in the same team. It just
I really hope they can get some top players involved. It'll be such a disaster if they get all the rights to it and then no one really wants to do it. Like
could get Buffon in there. Centre back, you could have Lillian Thuram. Fuck it, why not? What a player! Like Thuram, David Trezeguet up front.
Nedved and Pirlo centre mid. Oh, fuck off! What a team! There's nostalgia there. Jesus Christ! Del Piero and Trezeguet up front. Fucking hell!
It's a 90s football.
Fucking. Do you know what I mean? What are Elon Musk and that doing? If I had the kind of money that them people had, I'd be like, yeah, fuck this, let's get this on. Let's just give 10 million to everyone who gets involved and just get this super game on.
Mate, honestly, if there was a website for 90s football porn, it would ejaculate at that comment. Like, it explode.
Just the ears explode. Like, oh, yes. Okay, now. Oh yeah,
No,
but yeah.
that's what I think it'd be sick. Why don't they do like an international one? Oh my god! Imagine the international teams.
Oh yeah, God. Well, all right, we'll do that then. Instead of talking about the protesters, because yeah, stop oil. That's nice, very nice. But let's do just do an England Masters then instead. Yeah, let's just do a giant one. This is completely off the cuff because I've not jotted. I didn't even jot down doing an England Masters. So
are we saying best or just for banter? Like who would have in the?
Well, goalkeeper straight away, like shot stopping wise, I'd say you'd have to go with someone like Joe Hart, maybe. No, Pickford's pretty good at shot stopping.
There's no way Pickford's been. We're talking.
His arms are the right size to them nets. So do you know what I mean?
He's not even retired.
Oh, fuck yeah, I'm on. Not thinking, but his arms would be good size for them 6-a-side nets.
I've never really had much confidence in English keepers, so I'm just going to
go
straight up with the only one that I think would be worthy of the job, and that's Gordon Banks. So I'll just stick with that.
Yeah, I was thinking more people who aren't near the age of 80 who could actually play.
All right, fine. Sure.
Right, we both stumbled on a point.
DJ's clearly got something against 80-year-olds playing football. So. Right, in that case, no, I despise David Seaman. I fucking hate him. United and Arsenal are big rivalry, so they did do anyway. Back
we also Carson, Paul Robinson. I'm trying to think of the keepers we've had. Joe Hart, though, I think he was the main keeper for years, weren't he? So I'd have to say him, really.
I'd have to say Joe Hart as well, just because.
Yeah, I can't really think.
Do you know why though? All the others, maybe apart from David Seaman, all the others were just mediocre. Yeah,
there seems to be an area of the pitch we struggled with here, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I don't like Joe Hart either. I don't like.
You don't like many people, to be fair, mate.
But if I had to pick between the two, I think you'd have to. I don't even then Joe Hart. I mean, are we saying there's no better English keeper of 35 years of age or older? Obviously, we're not allowed 80-year-olds because you're just the fucking oldest. But,
I don't know really. I was thinking international, so I bet if you dug deep, you could think of one who didn't get called up, What about he was second choice at the time? Nigel Martin. Nigel Martin was always back up to David Seaman, weren't he? I can't remember if he was. Chris Kirkland, Jesus Christ, God, he was in the news again, but I can't remember what for. I saw something about him. I think every time he says something online, people seem to jump on it. But no, Chris Kirkland.
I don't know. Joe Hart. I mean, do you know what? People watching this screaming at this, how the fuck have you missed this person?
He was Liverpool's keeper in the 90s, probably foreign, wasn't it? Pepe Reina, and then before that.
Reina wasn't 90s, was he? He was noughties.
Noughties, yeah, but I was trying to think a bit older, but I can't really think either then. He was their keeper, he was their main keeper for a bit. Yeah. It's eluding me. They had a string of shit keepers. Jersey Dudek, did they? So he's not English. I was trying to go back in my head.
That's
not. Yeah, no, I know. I was just trying to go further and further back, see if there was any English ones there. Arsenal had Seaman, United had mainly foreign keepers, didn't you? Didn't really have an English keeper. Don't think you've ever. When was the last time you had an English keeper?
Tommy.
Why?
Tommy.
No, like a good English keeper. I mean, a number one.
Ben Foster had a couple of games for us and then left.
Yeah, never really done well with English keepers.
No.
Chelsea's keepers, I think they were all foreign as well.
Kudicini was in net for a long time.
Yeah, Kudicini, what keeper, Petr Cech. Yeah. So I think this is why though. If you go through the Premier League like that, that's why you're struggling. There's not very many good English keepers at it.
Yeah. Well, anyway, let's put keeper off. We'll just put some random in there.
No, Joe Hart. We'll let Joe Hart or a fan from the stands. Just go and stand in there.
I'm going to go fan from the stand just for fun. Fuck it,
Joe
Hart's dad. Put Joe Hart's dad in there. Fuck it. We'll see this.
No, he's definitely going to be close to 80. He can't play. No old people. You're not allowed.
Hart's only 35, so he might be 60 or 70 or something.
Right, no, Joe Hart. Just give it to Joe Hart. I know that you just don't want to admit that Joe Hart is going to be in our team.
No, I think he has to, doesn't
he? At the back, Ashley Cole, surely. If for that kind of pedigree,
Do you know what? I'm glad you said that. 'Cause I was just gonna
good on the ball, good at defending. Yeah, I think in a 6-a-side, fuck me, like Ashley Cole, that'd be a good one.
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
2 centre mids, English centre mids. I think
well,
you realize the obvious, but
I'm
like,
gonna sound biased, but Paul Scholes walks into that straight away. Absolutely.
Scholes and who then? Scholes and Lampard or Gerrard?
Lampard.
That's not biased in the slightest.
No. Not one bit.
Yeah, I know. I'd probably back that as well. Lampard. Yeah, Lampard and Scholes. It's not bad. You could easily see Lampard and Gerrard, but they could even play together on a fucking 11-a-side pitch. Never mind a 6-a-side pitch.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Then 2 strikers.
Twat that says they're bad players and stuff like that. But, yeah, look, they're all great players, aren't they?
So, yeah, you don't play for England for so long if you're shit.
No.
Up front, probably first name on the sheet, but yeah, Emil Heskey, I reckon.
What?
Wigan legend, yeah.
You lost your mind.
I try to think of players who've played for Wigan in England, and I think Heskey and Kirkland are the only two I can really think of.
No. Didn't Sean Maloney play for England once?
Sean Maloney's Scottish.
Oh, sorry, it's not Sean Maloney. Who am I thinking of? No, who was your small player in the midfield?
God knows. We had Jimmy Bullard, but I think that was when he was at Fulham, and then he didn't play because he broke his leg at like the training camp.
Do you know what? I think I've lost it.
You definitely lost it if you think Sean Maloney's English.
It's getting close to that. Let's have a apart. Going forward, Wayne Rooney for me.
Wayne Rooney and Michael Owen. Do you reckon?
Paul Gascoigne.
Oh, Paul Gascoigne, yeah, that'd be nice.
Just Paul Gascoigne and Wayne Rooney.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Imagine the picked up afterwards if they won that fucking tournament, though. Fuck me. Outrageous. Jesus, yeah, that's a very nice team. Yeah, fucking like that, actually.
Don't get wrong. This team's getting twatted in group stages compared to other countries. But
oh, yeah, countries. We could be, honest to God, I reckon I feel like if we'd had a few beers and you didn't have work tomorrow, we could sit here for fucking 15 hours going through every single international team and going, this would be good for that team.
Well, the idea for the next podcast is we may as well just pick like 5 top countries or 6 and just pick their fucking massive team.
I think, yeah. I mean, it'd be enjoyable for us. It'd be terrible to listen to, but it'd be enjoyable for us at least.
No, I don't know, because if we ask people if we ask them to give us their verdicts on teams, and again, we're not saying it has to be the best team, we're just saying it has to be like the team you'd most enjoy watching at Masters Football. Listen, I think Gordon Banks would be pretty fun to watch at 80 years of age. I know you don't see it that way, but I think it'd be pretty fun.
Is Gordon Banks even alive? I feel like he must be getting on a bit. Is he alive?
I don't know. Don't tell me.
I have no idea. No, he's dead. He's alive. He's died. You have dig up the corpse of Gordon Banks and throw him in net. Jesus Christ! I honestly didn't know he died. He died a few years ago. He died in 2019, bit before our time, and he was 81. So yeah, he was too old. Even if he was alive, he'd be too old to play for him. Jesus, yeah, I didn't know. Yeah, R.I.P. Yeah, we condolences. Yeah, well, so you should be digging up a dead man's grave.
Hear me out. Imagine being able to have seen Gordon Banks play, and so that famous save and stuff would have been amazing.
Against Pele, the header, the flick over the bar. Yeah,
it would have been incredible.
Pretty incredible.
But anyway, but yeah, so I think that could be an interesting one, getting people's verdicts on different countries, 6 or 7 teams for.
Well, we've got an infinite amount of time.
I'd love to see people pick an Italian one, a Spanish one, and probably like a Brazilian and Argentinian one as well.
Yeah, these would be excellent.
Because for me, Goal d'Italia was a massive part of my childhood, and I just some people are going to come up with some absolutely sick teams. That'd be amazing. So you need to do a poll. We need to do a poll again. We need to get.
I love them polls.
Yeah. We need to get
yeah, I think we've done all right, actually, considering we've been a man down. We wanted to do... going forward, we'll have a little segment where Carl gives his tips for the weekend, but He's not here, as you've noticed. Either he's not here or he's been very, very quiet, and now he's going to chip in for the last 2 minutes. But no, I've got Sheffield United, Rotherham, Plymouth, Chesterfield, Salford. I repeat, Sheffield United, Rotherham, Plymouth, Chesterfield, Salford on 8-1. That is my tip. He won't come in because I never win a bet. But that's all we've got for the football section.
Yeah, it's I've not had a bet this week and come in work, so don't really bother when I can't keep up to date with it. So can't really come to that one. But I'll
try and get this out for Saturday morning, hopefully.
Yeah. But, I think it is well worth us doing a poll, definitely. Just to get people's verdict. Like, they might not even contribute, but just like get people's opinion on like if we do like the Spanish, Italian, let's just keep it simple: Spanish, Italian, Brazilian. There you go, 3 countries: Spanish, Italian, and Brazilian. All right, and let's just see what they come back with.
Oh yeah, we'll see. We'll see
Scottish one as well.
Tuesday. Oh, Scottish one. You're obsessed with this now. I should never brought this up. It's just you're going to do a spin-off podcast.
I just want to see
Masters Side podcast.
I just want to see what people come up with. Like,
oh yeah, Ali McCoist and Sean Maloney.
I knew Sean Maloney was coming. That's why I wanted to suggest it. Just because we've got so many Wigan fans in our followers, so just like Sean Maloney every time. Like,
always.
Just sick Sean Maloney. Oh god. Right, we'll wrap it there.
We'll wrap it. That is it. Wrapped. That is it. Done. We'll see you Tuesday for the second part. This is part 1, and then part 2 is right wing politics. It'll be fun.
I'm dreading this, by the way. Right, I'm absolutely dreading it so much.
See ya.
Bye.